talk about a lot about you and the organization, but if you look at your organization and especially looking at your direct management team, but also your management teams in the regions, in the countries, there's the retention is fantastic, right? You know, I mean, they've been around for many years, and to your point, been extremely committed, been part of building that culture. And how do you keep them motivated, and how do you keep on leading them to what's next also? Because they also need to see themselves developing here, right?
It's all in the margin. It's all in the margin. You know, you look at every single system and process that you've got, a marginal improvement generates a lot of money. A marginal improvement in customer retention generates a lot of money. A marginal improvement in employee retention generates a lot of money. Generally, when I go to a country, the country that's got the more established management teams tend to be the ones that are producing the best results. However, we all know sometimes you've got to change things around. And so we do bring a lot of new people in as well, and this is why growth is so important, right? You know, if you're growing as a business, you're going to be sucking talent in all the time, right? And then these are the people that become the next generation. I think as long as you're working for a company that's growing, that's investing in these people, that's enhancing your skill sets, there's nothing wrong with lifetime employment, because business is so complex that you'll never come to a time where you think, wow, I really understand this business now, right? And there's nothing else we can do.
If we just go a few years back and we talk about 2007, 2008, DHL Express, I mean, everybody, even in the Deutsche Post group saying that's the ugly dog on the bench, right? And secondly, there was kind of saying, what are we doing about it? And there was a kind of a real strategic dilemma, and also at the point of time where you were then also appointed to start thinking about what to do next with that company. That was a massive turnaround, and even a few years later, 2010, you were made the manager of the year in Germany. Tell us a bit about that journey, but also what were the kind of points that you were really focusing on, and how did you send those messages out? Did you lead? How did you make sure that kept order in the chaos, if you may, through that transformation or that turnaround? Yeah.
The funny thing is, as you complete a turnaround and as you become more successful and as you grow and you show that the strategy works, the pressure to do acquisitions, to go into other areas, to do different things, gets bigger, not smaller. People don't say, "Oh, that's great, your strategies work, let's keep going," right? It's almost like, "Okay, great, what else can we do?" So the thing was telling everybody, what are the things that people are passionate about? All our people were passionate about the International Express business because we were so good. What drives your dynamics? In an international network, as much as a domestic network, volume is the key to it all, right? And that does drive your dynamics. But the international volume, not domestic volume, and then all the processes and everything that go around it. So we showed based on that model, that we were still the best in the world, that we still had the major market share, and therefore we can go on to bigger and greater things. The financial targets, even though we laid them out, we didn't have a mathematical scientific basis to get back to it. We just knew that if our quality and our airline and everything else and our processes were good, we would get those results. I absolutely think from focus comes growth. We've got a long history of proving that this business will grow. So it was all about getting better and better at what we're already very good at, right? Trying to make that move from good to great.
So from a leadership perspective, what are the most critical issues or areas of focus for DHL Express now going forward here?
I want to grow. I want my customers to grow so I can grow them. I want my people to grow, and I want my shareholders to grow, right? In terms of return, right? So I think growth is critical. Then as you grow, how do you keep everything in place? How do you keep focus? Because I tell you, bureaucracy and things that take you off path, they grow like weeds and you don't have to water them, right? You almost have to get your lawnmower out every day and making sure that nothing's distracting you from what you're trying to do. So as you grow, how do I keep that relationship with my top people? Right. How do I make sure that the messages are consistent? How do we change as an organization to cope with growth? How do we keep that entrepreneurial spirit? How do we keep that closeness? keeping everybody aligned, keeping everybody focused, showing them that it's exciting to do the same thing better every single day. Making people feel like that. This is what you working in DHL or Deutsche Post is doing, and it's so powerful. But it's a different way of managing. So how do we make sure that those are the people we bring into the organisation and keeping that focus as we go forward?